Concept of Sunnah in the Muwatta of Malik ibn Anas, Mohammed Yusuf Guraya, Mcgill 1969. Chapter 3. Different shades of Sunnah in the light of different terms used in the Muwatta. By the time of Malik, the ideality of Sunnah, or the normative and exemplary conduct set forth by the Prophet, after passing through several phases, had taken certain definitive shapes, and had begun to emerge in the form of customs, usages, and practice, though the prophetic Sunnah as a general umbrella concept was present at all times. The Muwatta is a good record of all these terms and their different shades during the Umayyad rule. Although the political capital of the state had shifted to Damascus, the intellectual center of the Umayyads continued to remain in Medina. Thus the Medinese were able to continue their intellectual Islamic tradition from the very first century of Islam. Malik in his Muwatta had codified the Islamic learning of Medina. Professor Joseph Schatt, writing on the Muwatta, had remarked, "The object of the Muwatta is to give a survey of law and justice, ritual and practice of religion according to the ijma' of Islam in Medina, according to the Sunnah usual in Medina, and to create a theoretical standard for matters which were not settled from the point of view of ijma' and Sunnah." Dr. Fazlur Rahman has pointed out two meanings of Sunnah in the Muwatta. After quoting an example from the Muwatta in which Sunnah is used twice, Dr. Rahman remarks, "Whereas in one case it does not mean the practice or established practice in Medina, it cannot mean this is in the second case, for one does not ask in the face of an agreed practice, is there any Sunnah with regard to this? In the second case, then, Sunnah must mean an authoritative or normative precedent. But whose normative precedent? Obviously, in this case, the Sunnah is either the Sunnah of the Prophet or of any subsequent authority under the general aegis of the prophetic Sunnah." Dr. Fazl Rahman's inference from his interpretation of the term Sunnah is that there are two related concepts of Sunnah in the Muwatta. One, the practice or the established practice. Two, an authoritative or normative precedent. That is also the conclusion of Professor Schatt, but the practice, quote-unquote, the Medinese, does not simply reflect the actual custom. It contains a theoretical or ideal element. In the following, we shall see what different terms Malik has used to express his idea of Sunnah in the Muwatta. Then, in light of these terms, we shall attempt to define the concept of Sunnah in the Muwatta. Malik has used many terms to express the concept of Sunnah, which in fact represent different shades of the concept of Sunnah. The terms used for Sunnah in the Muwatta are as follows. 1. The practice or opinion of the people of Medina. Al-amr alladhi adraktu alayhi an-nas. 2. The agreed practice or opinion among us. Al-amr al-mujtama'a alayhi indana. 3. The practice or opinion according to the scholars of Medina. Ala dhalik adraktu ahl al-ilm bi biladina. 4. The practice or opinion according to us. As-sunnah indana, al-amr indana. 5. The long-established practice. Madat as-sunnah. 6. The sunnah of the Prophet of God. Sunnat Rasulillah. These terms have other equivalent uses as well. The expression, the practice of the people of Medina, has the following equivalents. 1. The practice of the Muslims on which there is no disagreement. 2. That this is the practice with us which there is no disagreement and the people have always been practicing. 3. That this is the practice which is without doubt and without disagreement. 4. The custom which is being practiced, its knowledge is in the hearts of the people, and this is what the people have been practicing in the past. The phrase, the practice or opinion according to the scholars of Medina, has also been expressed in other forms. 1. The practice or opinion I heard the scholars talking about. 2. The scholars have always followed this practice or opinion. 3. The opinion of those who have sound knowledge and insight. 4. The opinion or practice of the people having knowledge and understanding. 5. The opinion or practice of the exalted predecessors who have passed away. The Arabic is given, but the Arabic text is not given. So, roughly, Al-amr alladhi sami'tu minhu ahl al-ilm, Al-amr alladhi la yazul alayhi ahl al-ilm bi biladina, ahl al-ma'rifa wal-basar, ahl al-ilm wal-fiqh, ahl al-fadl, alladhina madaw. The term established practice has also been expressed in the following ways. 1. The established practice has been like this. Madat bidhalik as-sunnah. The practice of the predecessors has been according to this. ما مدى من عمل المديين فيه. 3. The established practice among us, السنة الثابتة عندنا, the practice about which there is no disagreement, السنة التي لا اختلاف فيها. 5. The practice of the Muslims about which there is no disagreement, سنة المسلمين التي لا اختلاف فيها. 6. The practice according to us, السنة عندنا. 7. The practice according to us about which there is no disagreement, السنة عندنا التي لا اختلاف فيها. Apologies, no Arabic text given. Another term synonymous with the term as-sunnah indana is al-amr indana, and this term al-amr has other equivalents too. 1. The practice or opinion according to us, al-amr indana. 2. The agreed practice or opinion according to us, al-amr al-mujtama'a alayhi indana. 3. The practice about which there is no disagreement among us, al-amr alladhi la ikhtilafa fihi indana. 4. The practice or opinion for which the scholars of our city have always followed, al-amr alladhi la yazul alayhi ahl al-ilm bi biladina. 5. The practice or opinion well known, trustworthy, al-amr al-ma'mul mawqut. 6. The practice on which the people have always been agreed, al-amr alladhi la yazul alayhi an-nas indana. 7. The agreed practice with us, which I found the scholars of our city, al-amr al-mujtama' alayhi indana والذي أدركت عليه أهل العلم ببلادنا. 8. The agreed opinion or practice about which there is no disagreement, on which I found the scholars of our city, الأمر المجتمع عليه الذي لا اختلاف فيه والذي أدركت عليه أهل العلم ببلادنا. 9. The opinion or practice upon which there is no disagreement, and none of the scholars of our city is in doubt about it, and the actual practice is also according to it. الأمر الذي لا اختلاف فيه ولا شك عند أحد من أهل العلم ببلادنا وكذلك العمل. 10. The practice or opinion upon which there is a vast majority of scholars in our city, العمل الذي كانت عليه الجماعة ببلادنا. 11. The usage which is under practice and its recognition is in the hearts of the people, and the practice of the predecessors has been accordingly. الحكم المعمول به والمعرفة ذلك في صدور الناس وما مدى من عمل المديين فيه. Apologies, no Arabic text given. Stay tuned for many more parts.